Good morning, good day, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen from all around the world. Welcome to our live webinar from our studio in our headquarter office in Zagreb, Croatia. I want to thank everybody, especially to those who are joining us for the first time. We are thrilled to have so many of you who express an interest to learn more about today's topic, and that is how efficiently plan and design your 5G network. So let me start first with today's agenda schedule. So first, we're going to talk about efficient way of 5G network planning and design. After that, we'll have a live demo of how GDi Ensemble Network Planner compares to standard tools. After that, we will talk about implementation and how its implementation is done. And after that, we will conclude all of that with our live Q&A session. So just to get the most of this webinar, I would like to encourage you to actively participate in today's webinar. That means that you are very welcome to actively participate by dropping any comment or question through our chat window. Besides that, you can introduce yourself and leave any kind of comment. On top of that, you are free to make an appointment and send me an email so we can discuss in more details. And most importantly, don't forget to enjoy today's webinar. So let me start with the first topic and introduce my colleague Dominic. Dominic is our Executive Director for Business and Solutions Development, and he brings more than 20 years of experience from telecom industry. So welcome, Dominic, please join me.
Thank you very much, Andrej. Thanks. Hello, everybody. Like Andrej said, my name is Dominic Periškić, and I am proud member of GDi team. I have more than 20 years of experience in telecommunication, from which I have around 10 years of experience in various IT management positions in telecommunicating operators. In that years, I have learned that there are some tough things going on in the IT support for both business, but also for the network and for the people that are designing, planning, and operating network on the other hand. Often it happens that from the business side and from the sales and from the marketing, those initiatives, change requests or projects are more oftenly prioritized before the things that need to be done for network. This is sometimes really unfair because if everything works well on the network side, then it makes life much easier for all of the business people that needs to make decisions on one hand, but also that needs to sell the product and sell the service to the end customers. Okay. Bearing that in mind, I will now try to lead you on a journey regarding efficient plan and design of 5G networks. It is really hot topic. I'm not going to talk today about what 5G network brings, what business value does it bring, and so on. You all know that, and you can read that everywhere. Because everybody is talking about new devices, IoTs, new things that will happen and that will change our lives when 5G network happens. And 5G is actually happening right away. Some of the telecom operators have already started with the rollout. Some of them are planning to start really soon. But what does it bring? It brings a lot of challenges and difficulties because it is really complex task. Okay, so what is really needed for the planning, designing, and rolling out the 5G network? I'm going to show you in today's presentation three, let's say, steps. First step is what needs to be done and what needs to be prepared. Then we are going to talk about efficient plan and design, and not only that, you are going to see the demonstration of efficient plan and design versus some traditional way of planning and designing the network, and also you are going to see something a little bit different, and that is how we can help and what can bring operating and building the network. So not only plan and design, but also the operation of the network. And at the end, after the demo and so on, we are going to talk a little bit about benefits that we as a GDi can bring to you, and what kind of benefits can be brought regarding helping you into the carefully and efficiently plan, design, build, and run your 5G network. Okay, so like I said at the beginning, planning and preparing adapt design is really an essential step in the 5G network rollout. So you have different kind of networks, different part of networks, from core network through the backhaul up to the access network, and at the end you have some customer premises equipment or devices that are connected to that network. So all of those things need to be carefully prepared and need to be planned, especially the significant backhaul upgrade that needs to be done. So when we are talking about 5G network and mobile network, radio network, we are not actually talking only about 5G network. We are mostly talking in preparation phase about fixed network, or let's be more precise, about fibers and fiberization, because all of the bandwidth that exists now for the traditional networks is not enough to introduce rolling out of the 5G network. Okay, so how to prepare? What to do? Preparation for this is really complex task, or should I say a list of complex tasks. It includes business communication, marketing, legal, and a lot of other construction and planning and so on and so on. But today we are not going to focus on this part. We are going to focus on the technical part of the infrastructure and the technical part of planning and designing the network before it is rolling out and before we run it into the production. Okay, technical design. What does it consist of? Well, we can say that it consists of several things. First things are some kind of plans, projects, so spatial and geolocation layouts. The second thing is a detailed active network overview. Third thing is not active, but passive network drawings with corresponding data, so cables and all of the other stuff regarding passive network. And at the end, we need to logically connect all of the dots in the network. Okay, so traditionally, what do we do? So all of those things and all of those steps, parts that you have seen on previous slide are traditionally done in separate organizations within a company, or even not only within a company, but also with the partners and so on. So basically we have a little bit separate islands that sometimes fail in communication, but they often fail in integration of all of those elements. We are on one hand in designing using standard CAD tools, which is okay. So CAD are really good tools and really good systems for designing and constructing and designing something to be constructed. But aside of that, we need to manually store the data in some kind of databases, telecom databases, inventory systems, or whatever kind of databases, because we need those data later on when we want to see what needs to be built on the network side and what needs to be operated on the network side. We input these data in various different systems, often manually. We have separate organizations, like I said before, which are in charge for different things, which means that we have islands or silos in such big corporations and organizations. And at the end, what is missing? Seamless data flow and seamless integration between all of these elements. This, as you can see, can be very, very resource intensive and very tedious to do. Okay, but how to prepare more efficiently? What to do? We can be more efficient by doing all planning and design at once, in one step, in one integrated environment. Yes, you will say, but how? How to do that? Because we don't have such systems, we don't have such support for do that. Okay, let's focus a bit about doing everything at once or doing everything seamlessly without need of integrating different silos. It means basically using single integrated IT solution for all steps. Okay, that's the first thing. Secondly, no re-entering the data in different systems. No need to manually enter it in one database and then through some other graphical user interface enter it in another database and so on and so on. We want to have minimum manual data inputs and maximize the automation, not only because we want to save resources and we want to save time, but we want to increase the data accuracy, because all of the things that needs to be done manually decreases or minimizes accuracy, and we want to avoid that. We want to support both the passive network plan and the active network elements in inventory, so network inventory, all in one step. We want to have seamless integration between all elements, and we want to easily access or have easily accessible designs through some convenient views or reports and then real-time dashboards. Why this is important in real times? You all know that we are often using data warehousing, some kind of ETL preparations, some kind of daily exports, imports, and so on, in order to collect data, and then we are creating through the business intelligence systems, we are creating various reports. This is often not good, especially in the planning and designing, and especially later on the operating part. Why? Because we are losing a lot of time, which are really crucial to be in real time, react on the real time situations. We want to have the real time dashboards. Okay, but really, is that feasible? So we have established what are the steps that we need to do, what things need to be done in a way that we have this seamless integration and this increased data accuracy and increased efficiency. But can we really do that? Okay, I would say right now that you can do it and we can do it, and we are doing it together with our partners, together with our telecom operators that have chosen us to help them with this tedious task or list of tasks that needs to be done. So what do we have? We have GDi Ensemble Telecommunication Suite, which consists of several modules and which actually bring you several things needed for plan and design. So it brings you Network Designer, which is actually something that leads you from CAD to integrated network design. Then you can ask yourself a question: do we really need a CAD tool? I will leave that question to you for later on. I would say no, but let's see. For the inventory, we have physical and logical inventory, which is seamlessly and connected and integrated in the environment together with our network designer. We have business process designer, which actually can design all of those processes that are needed in planning, but also in operating and in provisioning and fulfillment of the services later on. So we are basically using the same environment. And at the end, least but not last, or last but not least, we have the workforce management, which is W4 workforce management, GDi Ensemble, which helps you in all of those tasks that needs to be executed manually to be more efficient, because whatever percentage of automation you get, at the end, something needs to be done by technician, something needs to be done on the field, and it is really important that you have relevant and correct data that are sent to the technician that needs to do some job. Then it also saves time, money, and it brings to efficient model of how to work in the field regarding in a plan, build, and run phase. Okay, so I have talked a lot here regarding what we can bring. What is the thing that you can get with GDi Ensemble Telecommunication Suite? What are the elements? What are the key things that needs to be done, and how can we help you? Okay, you will say, let's see that. Let's see that, yeah, because we have prepared the demonstration live demo. I have my colleagues, experts for our tools that can show you directly real life example of what needs to be done and how we can do it in our tools. So we have Branko and Matija, who will be my experts for the system, or network designers and network operating guys at the moment. And then they will show us on the demonstration what actually they can do. So, Branko, can you actually introduce yourself a little bit and then show us what on the network planning and design through our systems, through our network designer, and all the way to the network inventory we can do through the GDi Ensemble toolkit. Branko, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you, Dominic. I'm Branko Kurija. I'm a member of the team for the planning and design. So we are basically at the first phase of telecom network lifecycle for the planning and designing phase. What I'm going to show you today is how we're going to connect our 5G base station with the home COPOP network and the ODF. So let's switch to my screen so I can show you. What you see right now, it's basically the network that we already have. Right here, there is COPOP and the ODF. Down the line, we see the base station. I got it from the RF team, and I needed to connect it to my existing network. So how are we going to do it? So let's start by turning off some of the devices. I'm going to do it with the device here, device line here, and also go to the edit, create, and create a new trench. So from this manhole, I want to create 90-degree line from the existing network. So it's going to be done like this. Let's do it as close as possible to this manhole and snap to feature to the endpoint. I need to confirm the changes, and just like that, the new trench is created. Let's continue. I'm going to create a new ODF just beside the base station. So I'm going to turn on the devices, ODF, just put it right here. And the part we are missing now, prior to creating the cable, it's basically a splice closure. So I can find it in the here, put it beside the manhole. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to create a logical connection between the manhole and the splicing closure. Click here, modify. I'm going to select the splicing closure that I just created, select attach to, and then the manhole. Now, with apply, logically connection is created between the manhole and the splicing closure. All right, so I can see the blue squares and I will validate my data. Basically, we are validating topology, so it's everything according to the rules of the network that we created. So let's continue. I'm going to create 12 fiber line, 12 fiber cable with the create button. Go there, select the 12 fiber cable, go to the templates. Okay, let's repeat it. Create. Again on the templates. And I can select on the asset type underground. I want my cable to be underground. From this splicing closure, I can just drag the line right here with the right click, snap to feature, and then vertex. Again, right click, snap to feature, and the endpoint. I just need to connect it to the splice enclosure, just like that. And one more 12 fiber cable from the splice enclosure to the ODF. While I'm having it selected, I'm going to go to the attribute table. And in my to-device terminal, I'm going to select as the input. It's related to the ODF that's coming in, basically like a port. Then again on the data and validate. Let's see if everything is according to our model rules. And there we go. So we validated the network. What now I'm going to show you, it's basically, okay, here we have the business customers, 2 of them, and we can examine some of these points that represents our business customers. So, okay, let's select one of them and go to the attributes table. Here I can see the various information about that customer. It's like name or whatever attributes I added to it. So it's see that it's belong to Intesa San Paolo Bank branch. All right, and this is the cable that it's connected to the ODF. I can examine more of the network right here, and here we see some of the residential area south of the ODF. Some of the customers with a different kind of equipment. We see underground network. Here we see the overhead lines and the poles. And we can examine here our single dwelling unit as the customer and also multi-dwelling units. Okay, now let's imagine that one of our customers having a problem. He reported to us, we know the address, and we can trace the location and see where he belongs to which ODF and to which port from the ODF. So let's select one of our customers. I'm just going to leave it to device. What I'm selecting now is the distribution box. Okay, I can go to upstream. All right, select the domain network. It's our fiber optics. Tier is going to be distribution. And the targeting tier is going to be distribution again. After I click run, I should get all of the selected features from my customer up to the ODF. Let's see. Okay, so we have the selected elements. Now what I can do, I can examine it further, select my tab, select trail topology. Now what I'm seeing is the new map representing schematic view of the selected features. And I can drag it to have 2 maps. So what I'm seeing, this is schematic view of the selected elements, and there is distribution box. We see also the splice enclosure here. We can see the ports that this fiber is coming through, and also some of the other elements that are within this selection, like the other splice enclosure and ODF. Okay, let's see the structure butterfly view. I can select one of the features. I will select the manhole right here. Manhole. And again, I see the new view with a detailed inspection of my element. Okay, the dashed line represents the manhole. There is also splice enclosure and fibers with the ports. So I have again 2 maps. I can navigate to one map. See it here. We see there is 1 cable coming in, 1 cable coming out, and 2 drop cables on the left side. That's indeed true. Let's continue. So let's switch to the main extent of the map. 5G, I call it. And then let's say we want to print out this layout. We created the new elements, so we want to hand it out to our planning engineers. So I can select the format, let's say A3 portrait. All right, we see the paper over here. We just need to design the paper so we can prepare it for print. I'm going to create map frame. And again, I have the same extent that I went to, which is representing data that is on the map. Let's drag it like this. There we have it. Now what we are missing is the legend. Okay, let's put it under the map. And maybe north arrow bar. And there we go. I just have it ready for the print, so I can hand it out to my network engineers, planning engineers. So let's say I want to share it with the colleagues as well. I want to do it online, or maybe my customers. And how I can do that? I can go to the share tab over here and select share and web map. I'm gonna see on the right side some of the details for publishing. I like the name, summary if I want some insight of the data. And let's call it 5G antenna project. Okay, and the summary and all of this, I will not touch that right now. So we already have the published data. Let me show it for you. Okay, there is it. The exact same network that as you have seen over there. We can also further examine these elements in this web map, and I can select, let's say, this ODF that we just created, see the more details about it. Okay, and also maybe this trench. All right, so that's gonna be all from me. I would like to thank you, and Dominic, if you would like to add something.
Okay, thank you very much, Branko. This was very interesting. I don't have to add anything at this time. But what I want to see is how actually what you have designed and here, and you have shown us actually that you have designed some of the network elements and some of the network in a matter of minutes, which means that actually, and all of those things bring you something that designers on a traditional way are doing through the CAD tools, and then later on entering the data in inventory, which can, bring to a day or so, and you have done it in 5 or 6 minutes. That's really cool. But what I want to see is what is happening later on. So, for example, in operations, we need to do something. We need to check something. We need to react on something. That's why I have now my, let's say, operations guy, which is Matija. And I want Matija to show me in network operations how this system, this solution can help. So Matija, please, if you can show us that, go ahead.
Thank you, Dominic, for the introduction. So my name is Matija Janko, and I'm part of network operation team. And in the next few minutes, I will show you how we are managing our networks on a daily basis using our network inventory solution. So let's proceed to the demo. So here in our networks inventory solution, you see the same network that Branko created in his planning and design phase. So we can a bit zoom in to see what is down here. So here you see newly created elements. So ODF on the side of 5G antenna, 5G base station, and the new cable that is connecting this ODF from the 5G to the ODF on the side of central office. So within the resource tree, so within the part of the digital twin of your network, we are able to select any of element and show different schematic views. So for example, if I select 2 ODFs that I represented here, we can go to different schematic views, and one of them is a network topology view. So for example, let's see what we have here. So here we are able to see what are the elements that are on the path between ODF in central office on the one side and ODF on the other side within 5G base station. So here you see the red one is the ODF on the central office, and the other one is ODF selected within 5G base station. And in between those two endpoints, we have several optical splice closures. Yeah, so here you see the ODF within base station, and what we can do now. So we select the elements from the network topology, and we move to the new semantics, and that is trail topology. So what is shown within trail topology? Within trail topology, we are able to see physically cross connections between elements in our network. So we see which port within which element is connected to the next following element. So for example, in ODF, 14 port on the central office side is connected to the first port on the first fiber on the path. And therefore, we are also able to see other elements other elements and other cross connections on the pad. So I'm just showing and expanding these cross connections to see it from the point A to the point Z, where point Z represents ODF and first port in the patch panel within ODF on the 5G base station side. So now, for establishing, let's say, trail topology on logical level on those physically cross connections, we can establish trail to represent logical path from point A to point Z. This is possible to do automatically since our network inventory has integrated algorithms for finding those routes. So we just need to write down the name, so trail for a 5G antenna project, for example. We just need to select the state. So let's put it in a working state. We see automatically filled in termination points. For protection trails, we don't need nothing at the moment. And let's create this trail. So here on the trail view, this trail should be created. And you see when we select this trail, it's highlighted. What else can be shown? So this trail in trail topology view can be also shown directly on the map. So let's go to this trail, right click on it and select the option locate on map. I will just a bit extend the map. And now you see this trail physically where you go geographically on the map. So what else can we do? So for example, imagine that there is a failure in a network, and we notice from our OTDR system that on 75th meter from the ODF central office, we got some failure. So for example, fiber cut. We can within our system or automatically define the distance from the ODF and see where is the exact location of this fault. On this location, we are able to add any kind of an event. In this case, in this scenario, we are adding the event of a failure. So what happened? We are creating new event. We are selecting the location of the event. And for event, we will just write down, so fiber cut causing 5G fault. 5G fault, and the kind of event is real failure, and effect of the event is transmission connections. So we just create this event. We need to select, so it is appeared on first fiber within this cable. Create next, and here in just a few clicks we see what are the affected elements within caused by this cut. So what else can we show? So finally, for this event, we can move to the events log. So for the screen for the events down here, and we see the logs of all events that happened in our network. Here for this example, we have only one. So also for this event, we can see the reference resources. So as I said previously, we see what are the affected components and logical connections within our network caused by this event. And moreover, for the specific trail, so this trail for 5G antenna project, we can see what are the related resources. Okay, so upcast, so we have only elements downcast from this trail since the trail is on top of the physical resources. So when we select show related resources downcast and expand all elements, we see that this trail is passing through over several fibers. So in this example, we have 6 fibers. 4 of them have 96 fibers and 2 cables with 12 fibers. So in this way, we are able to detect failures that occur in our network, to resolve them, and to do fault reparation as fast as possible. So Dominic, this was from my side. Do you have any questions?
Not at this time. This was very interesting, Matija. Thank you very much. I think that we have seen a lot. Thank you, and thank you, Branko. So what we have seen? We have seen that beginning from the planning through the design of network, we are doing that in our suite. But not only that, when we go into the operations, when we build a network and we need to run it, in the operations, we also use the same toolkit. We also use this solution in order to have everyday or ordinary operations going on the network side. We use it to fix errors. We use it to take a look at the network. We use it for the provisioning. We use it for all of the other stuff. That is really cool. But what, for example, me and as a manager can benefit from this system? So there are a lot of details here in this system, and you can see that guys are pretty skilled in connecting all of the dots and connecting the network and doing all of those things. But those are, let's say, low-level technical stuff. For the management people, what we need, what they need, is actually overview, high-level overview, and KPIs, reports, dashboards, from which they can extract the data, real-time data that is relevant, and which they can help them in making decisions. Now, let me try out, let me see what I have here. Okay. I'm not so skilled in this, but I want to see what the guys have done. So on one side, we have ODF. Okay, I'm just showing that. Okay, I will zoom out from it now. Okay, on the other side, I have the, customer side. So it is this bank that Branko was telling you about. Okay, let's see the legend. What I can see in everything that I can see from cables into the elements. But now let's see what's more interesting. Let's switch into the dashboard view. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. You see, this dashboard is really configurable. I can configure everything, all of the data here that I can extract from the inventory. And you can see that I'm zooming in and zooming out on this map. And when I'm zooming in and zooming out, what happens is that actually those data here on these charts are changing, which means those data are real live data, you know, which is really much better and much cooler than having the data on some kind of data warehousing system, on some kind of reporting, which is not really fresh. Okay, you can see here that we have subscribers by type, we have cable types, different cable types. We can switch into the different areas and then see how much actually data is changing. We have pie charts that are showing, for example, distribution of ducted aerial cables. So different kind of things. We can see as you can see, we can see the data about how long are the cables and so on. So different kind of things can be shown here, which bring us to the KPIs. And then based on this data, which in everyday work, manager can take a look at 5 or 10 minutes what is going on with the plan and with the design. And in these 5 or 10 minutes, then he can make a decision. Something is not going well on that side, or something is going really well on that side, and then make management decisions regarding this. And in network operations, of course, we can see faults, like Matija have shown us. We can see different operating tasks that are going on, and all of the other stuff. So, guys, we have shown you this demo. We have shown you not only plan and design of the network, we have shown you operating the network through our support tool, and we have shown you what actually are we bringing to help you in order to roll out the 5G network. But not only that, 5G network is something really cool and something that is happening right now. But what we are showing you is not only 5G network, it can be applicable to any network, because basically boundaries are broken. There are no boundaries between fixed line and the mobile anymore. from one hand, you have fixed line and you have fiberization that you need to bring in order to have a better speed and to bring more cool devices into the environment. And on the other hand, of course, you have a mobile network that at the end, giving the radio signal that relies from the backhaul on this core network, on this fixed network or this fiber network, and that can bring a really good and high speeds to the customers. Okay, so what I want to do right now is a little wrap up to summarize what we have seen. How we benefit from all of this. So, like we have shown you, with this toolkit that guys were showing you and I was talking about, and I was actually showing this dashboard, which brings additional thing, not only into the operating and planning and doing the technical stuff, but also on the management side, I think that we have shown you that it greatly increases a lot of things. First, it greatly increases your data accuracy. You don't have to enter manually anything. So you're not drawing CAD pictures anymore, and then later on entering data into the databases. No, everything is done, by clicking on the same system, and immediately it is then entered into the database. Therefore, because of that, you save time. And when you save time, you actually save money. We are increasing efficiency of the whole network plan, build, and run process. In all of those steps, our toolkit can really benefit and can really help, because once again, it decreases time and increases efficiency. We are minimizing manual work, but not only manual work, like we said, in planning and designing, because you don't need to re-enter data and so on. No, we are decreasing manual work on the technician side. Why? Because of the data accuracy, you no longer need to send technicians somewhere where you are not sure whether he needs to go or doesn't need to go. Because of the data accuracy, you are now pretty sure that when something happens in the network, that it is a real thing that is happening in the network, and you can decide whether you need or really not need to send a technician. Therefore, you minimize the manual work. And at the end, it enables automation of provisioning process. So you have seen the automation of the plan and design process and parts of the automation of the operating and maintaining. But in provisioning, when you have accuracy in data, when you have all of the dots connected in the network, then you can easily, or much easier, let's be exact, much easier create automated feasibility check in the network, where you can, with high percentage, give to the customers real-time information about availability of their data, and therefore you can actually bring to the customer faster and more efficiently the service. Okay, now I want to tell you a little bit about the telecommunications suite itself. So you have seen a glimpse of all of the tools, of all of the modules that we have in something that we call GDi Ensemble Toolkit. GDi Ensemble Solution is a solution that consists of several modules. Those modules are TMF compliant modules, which are service inventory, resource inventory, network discovery, activator, workforce management, workflow orchestration or business process management, and at the end, network designer. All of those modules have standard APIs built in. They are, like I said, TMF compliant, which bring them in a way of standardized solution for the telecommunication, so that can more easily be fit in any integrated environment on the side of telecommunication operators. What does it mean, actually? Well, it means, like I said, this is GDi Ensemble. GDi Ensemble is like orchestra. When you have orchestra, you have instruments in that orchestra. Those instruments can play together in an orchestra, and they are playing really good. But each of those instruments or modules from this GDi Ensemble can be extracted and put in your orchestra through the standard APIs, and they can play as well as they are playing in the GDi Ensemble. So no matter whether you already have, for example, inventory or workforce system or whatever, you need, for example, only network designer, you can easily fit it in, you can integrate it, we will help you with that because we have more than 30 years of experience in that area, and we can help you with the integration of all of your systems because we are integrating from CRMs through ERPs down to network elements, everything. So our way of doing actually business and of doing, let's say, support to you guys is in the way that we sit with you, see what you have, what you need or think that you need, and we can help you in deciding really well what puzzles are missing in your environment, and they say to you, guys, your workforce management is great, or guys, your CRM is doing all right, but your complete OSS, maybe, you know, it's too old, maybe it's needed to be replaced, so we can help you with that. Whatever you choose, you can call us, you can get in touch with us. We'll be more than happy to have a one-on-one presentation, to have more demonstration, more live presentations regarding whatever your interests are, and then we can help you to see how actually you can build not only 5G network, but also how you can plan, build, and run whatever network you have, and how you can actually provide more efficiently services to the end customer. Okay, so basically, I think that we are done here. Thank you guys once again. You have been really great. We have some questions. I will ask Andrei to join me right now. So Andrei, please. Andrei will tell you a little bit about the GDi itself, and then we are going to switch on the Q&A, and then we are going to really wrap up and to have some kind of a call of action and so on.
Exactly.
And then we are going to call it a day, right?
Exactly. That's the plan. So, as I previously mentioned, since some of you are for the first time with us, so basically maybe you don't know who we are. So let me give you a brief description of who is GDi, who we are. So GDi is a Central European, Middle European company of 300 experts, and we are based in Zagreb, Croatia. On top of that, we have presence and we have regional offices across 13 countries in Central and Eastern Europe. GDi was founded in 1989, so that means that we are older than 30 years now. And since earlier beginning, we were specialized in telecom sector. In meantime, we became a leading Central European solutions provider with a global reference. Our leading markets are Central and Eastern Europe, with strongly growing Middle East, Latin America, and Asia. During those 30 years, we have achieved that have more than 1,000 happy customers. And just to name it, among the network of our partners, we need to emphasize partnership with S3 and with Microsoft. Let's continue showing you a footprint of our selected references. So here on the map, you can see that we are basically working worldwide. And most of these references that I'm showing to you are telecoms. So just talking about Europe, you can see that we are basically all across Telecom Austria Group, A1 Group, and that we are present from Austria, Croatia, Slovenia, Macedonia, Serbia, all the way to Belarus. Also, we are working long time with TCOM, then again all the way to Central America in Colombia, far away in Philippines, Tele2 in Russia. But besides telecom, we are also working with other companies. For example, you can see some references in the United Arab Emirates, in Mexico. We are working with governments in Poland, airports in Poland, and so on. So basically, we are very well across many sectors. So This was a short overview, and now we are going to our live Q&A session. Just to get the most out of it, please, I want to remind you once again to be active. If you didn't, drop us a questions, drop us a comment. And after all of this, feel free to make an appointment with me, with us, and we can continue on that. Feel free to get in touch over LinkedIn, Facebook, get in touch personally with me, and call me anytime to set up further discussion and meetings.
Okay, I think that we have time to take some of the questions live, so there are a few minutes left. So I'm going to take first two questions here in live sessions, and all of the rest of the questions we will answer you through the Q&A window, so you will be able to see the answers there. So let's see. First question from Cameron is, can you export layouts into DWG format? So it is actually AutoCAD format, right? Well, yes, and not only that, we can import also DWG formats into our network designer. We need to make some of the modifications based on the model, but basically it's easily done. Export is easily done into the DWG. So if you want to use CAD, and if you often use CAD in your planning, yes, sure, you can use it without any problems. Okay. Second question is, what kind of integrations are possible from your systems? That's a really good question, and the answer is also really good. So we provide integration on standard APIs. Like I said in the presentation, we are TMF compliant, and for all of our modules, we have standardized APIs, SOAP and REST, which can be easily, let's say, connected to any system. So out of the box, we are connecting through the standard APIs, we are providing documentation and so on, but also it depends on the project, because if you decide to connect to our systems, then we can help you go through the documentation, and we can help you make those kind of integrations from your systems. Okay. We have a lot of other questions. Thank you very much for them. I think that we are right now running out of time, so we will take your questions in the Q&A session. I would personally like to thank you very much for participating. Hope that I have brought to you something new regarding 5G topic, and hope that you will get in touch with us, and this topic was interested enough that you get in touch with us, and that we can help you in building and rolling out the 5G network. Thank you very much.
Okay, as a final conclusion, once again, I would like to invite you to get in touch, drop me an email, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Facebook, and be free to come on with every question. This will be all for us. Thank you, guys, and looking forward to work with you. Thank you.